What is the meaning of a bond when the world is at stake? Is it selfish to hide, or is it deeper than life itself? Day 9, ethical dilemmas, stumble farcically on screen. A little girl and her pet versus millions of human lives. A family film? Scarring kids, dropping F-bombs like rain.
Fucking hair, goddammit!
Despite a sweet girl and her pig. A film too many, unknown to itself, filled with hungry bellies, and a ridiculous Okja. Alright guys, I've been trying to keep these 30-day film challenges mostly positive, but today's prompt is one that's gonna be negative, especially this video. I extremely hate this movie, and today's prompt for day 9 is a film that you hate that everybody else likes. And the film I'm gonna be talking about today is Okja. This film, how anybody likes this film, it just boggles my mind. Yes, I do disagree with a lot of the messages that this film is pushing, but even from an execution perspective, this movie is just terrible. And so to start off, Okja, for those who don't know, is a movie about this little girl and her big elephant-sized pig named Okja, who Okja ends up getting taken away from this little girl by this big GMO super company that wants to turn these pigs into bacon to feed the hungry of the world. And while that seems like, you know, a noble cause, the CEO of this company happens to be this really evil, not giving a crap CEO lady who really just wants to make money off of it. And this movie, my first issue with it is so overly preachy. Like, I've seen preachy films, but this film, they talk about clubbing you over the head with a message. This film not only clubs you over the head with its message, it pounds your skull in with a fucking mallet. That's how preachy this film is. Like, at one point, I was sitting there watching this movie saying, is this a film, or is this basically just a message of why society is shit when it comes to these issues? Like, all of the issues, it talks about so many issues in this that it just overbears the movie. Like, had Bong Joon-ho picked one or two things and solely focused on those, it would have been a better film. But instead, it not only goes into corporate greed, but it also talks about, you know, an anti-GMO message. Then it goes into, you know, animal cruelty. Then it goes into, you know, basically getting rid of this amazing friendship between a girl and her animal and how it's cruel like that. And it's just, oh my gosh. And it's not even that this film is well executed. This film does not know what it wants to be. Part of it masquerades around as like this fun family child's film with this sweet little girl who wants to, you know, just be friends with her super pig Okja and just, you know, live a happy life. But then every like 5 minutes this film drops the F-bomb.
Oh, fucking hair, goddammit!
And then the other half of the film literally just goes into extreme blood and gore and dark themes, to the point where if you took a child to go see this, it'd probably scar them for the rest of their life. So this film is dark, but it also tried to have comedy. It tried to be satirical, which can work. I've seen it work in movies, including in Parasite, which is also a Bong Joon-ho film. But this film, the comedy that it goes for, is so mismatched with all the darker elements of this film that it just comes off as a farce. like, satirical comedy usually still has dark elements to it, like in Parasite. But this movie, there's a character in particular played by Jake Gyllenhaal, which is basically like this like over the top, really ridiculous, goofy, like animal guy who is kind of seems like a riff or is making fun of Steve Irwin and whatnot.
Dr. Johnny's! Everybody knows Dr. Johnny can't stand anything boring! Have I ever given you a boring show?
And he just comes off as so much of a character that he seems so out of place in this film. And, oh my god, this film, and it also, like, you know, yes, I get that when you go see a Bong Joon-ho movie, you're probably going to see a movie with some sort of, you know, class message or anti-corporate message and whatnot. As long as it's well executed and well thought out and the premise makes sense, I'm okay with that. I may not necessarily agree with it, but I'm okay with that. You know, I enjoyed Snowpiercer. I enjoyed Parasite. But Okja, he just went so far off the reservation that you could even question some of the ethical arguments he makes. Because, yes, while this film does, again, club you over the head with just how evil it makes the villain, played by Tilda Swinton, in this movie, it begs the question, well, if she was in it for the right reasons and decided to make these super pigs to feed millions of people who are going starving, then where's the ethical... Then wouldn't you question ethically the actions of this little girl who is selfishly trying to save her friendship with this pig instead of maybe helping out millions of people, which this pig was bred to do? And wouldn't you also question the actions of her grandfather in this movie, who gives her this little baby pig knowing that it was bred to be slaughtered and feed these millions of people, knowing full well that eventually the day would come where people would have to tear this pig away from this little girl in a tragic way like the movie shows, and that it's probably going to break the kid's heart. Like, where the hell is the moral questioning on that? Like, this film makes no fucking sense, and yet it has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. An 81% audience score and an 87% critic score. Like, I get if this film had, you know, a Star Wars The Last Jedi type thing going on, where the critics, because they're so out of touch with reality, rate it super high, and the audience, who knows what a good Star Wars film entails, rates it really low. Like, if that happened with this film, I would get it. But it didn't. Both audience members and critics rated this film really highly, and I don't get why. I don't get why. Like, you can question maybe me not liking the message of this movie, but I'm so tired of people enjoying these movies and these movies getting awarded that, even if they push a message that maybe I don't agree with, are also not all that well executed. Like Moonlight, like Okja. Oh my god, people, get some fucking tastes in movies. So that's my rant for the day. Sorry, I went Okja on you and dropped a few F-bombs in there myself, but this film is probably the most overrated film of all time. Like, grossly overrated. Like, at best, I felt this film should have gotten a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how atrociously bad I think this film is. I would rather gouge my eyes out with a spoon, with multiple spoons, and then squish my eyeballs, than watch this film again. Ugh. Like, come on. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just very passionate about my hate for this movie. So, If you didn't like it, I understand. The rest of, I am trying to add a little more emotion into these videos, just so I don't come off as robotic and scholarly, but, that might have been a little too over the top, but seems fitting for this movie. Seems fitting. You know, that if this review gets panned by everyone, at least you guys have tastes in reviews. So, you know, yeah. So, I'm going to rate Okja a waste of time. Like, even a waste of time feels generous for this movie. Like, this probably is the only movie I could see being worse than this movie, that I could see rating worse than this movie, is The Room. And The Room, it's just because even the acting is bad. At least for what the actors are given in Okja, the acting is pretty good. At least for what Jake Gyllenhaal was given in Okja, his acting was pretty good. Like, there are some elements of this film that, yes, are good. But I will not hesitate to rate this film a waste of time. I don't know. Please comment down below, guys. Is there something I'm missing with this film? Am I just being overly critical? Or is there legitimately something I'm missing with this film? Thanks for watching. I hope, despite this rant, you guys decide to watch some more of my videos down the pipeline. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.